looking at this new evolution of blockchain and crypto. And I think some of our internal thesis is on what's going on in this marketplace and why aren't the banks getting into it. You know, it's interesting to see some of that now come to fruition. You know, regulatory scrutiny was a big one, and obviously, you know, the banks have to operate and the institutions, large institutions, have to operate in a very clear regulatory framework environment. If anything, sometimes maybe a overtly regulated framework environment, as we've seen with Dodd-Frank and MiFID, et cetera, globally. So for, you know, crypto to come in, there was definitely a little bit of wait and see. You know, first of all, it has to be a investable asset. It has to provide some value from that perspective. So I think the initial stages were kind of this wait and see. But now, you know, what we're finding with the clients that we're talking to is they just can't wait to see anymore. Their clients are calling them. They want to get in. You know, people in family offices or folks in private wealth clients, and also, you know, prop traders. They want to get into it and get in on this action. Volatility is a bad word in a lot of instances, and I know in crypto circles and in blockchain circles, there's a lot of talk about how bad volatility is, and the like, and you know, the prices of Bitcoin, and that becomes a big focus. But in reality, volatility is where institutions start to gravitate towards. That's where most of them will make their money. We feel like right now is the right time, which is why we've come to the market to do this. Now, in terms of the problems that are facing these institutions, so okay, great, they're convinced crypto is it, you know, it's not going anywhere. We want to be in this. We want to have the upside. We want to provide our clients this upside. Now, I think the issue is, it's all infrastructure. So for institutions to get into anything, they need the infrastructure that they are familiar with, you know, in the mold or in similar kind of structures that they're used to operating under. A lot of these organizations are large, you know, hundreds and thousands of people with a lot of inbuilt systems and infrastructure in place. For them to add an asset class into that mix to support it, support it from a compliance perspective, to provide to their customers, provide simple things like reports, valuation, custody, even best price, you know, customer. We've been asked, well, how does a customer ensure they get best price? Well, in a marketplace that has 200 odd exchanges, and a lot of people playing what we're calling jurisdictional arbitration at this point, right? If you are New York based, you can't onboard to some exchanges, but if you're in Oklahoma, you can. You might get a better price if you're in Oklahoma. That just something seems odd about that equation. If you extend that out globally, and the global fragmentation, prices in exchanges in Japan versus Korea versus China versus the United States or Eastern Europe are drastically different. So these differences, they're there, and people are trying to exploit it. But at the end of the day, from an institutional perspective, they need more clarity and more ability to answer some of these questions for their customers who want to get into space, but they want the assurances and surety of the organization that they can provide them best prices, that they can securely custody their assets, and also provide them the same types of services that they're used to when they're trading equities with them, or futures, or any one of these asset classes.